Alright, so in this video, we are asked to solve for x. Solve for x. Let me get rid of this. Solve for x. How do we do that? Let's rewrite this one more time. Rewrite it. 2wx is equal to y. We have to solve for x. We can get rid of everything that doesn't have an x in it first. So let's do that. So let's try to get rid of this 9 because that's just there. It's annoying us. So let's get rid of that. So x plus 2wx is equal to y plus 9. Okay, now it's the interesting and fun part. We have to try to get rid of everything else, and the other things that we have is this. We have a 2w here. Now, what do we do here? We can't just subtract a 2wx to both sides because then we'd have an x, and we'd have an x on the other side. We don't want that. So how do we deal with this? This is something that we call factoring. So we factor out an x, and this would be 1 plus 2w. Now, how does this whole factoring thing work? This factoring thing, if you think about it, is actually the reverse of the distributive property. Because if an equation is given to you in the form x plus 2w, right, in this general form, you would probably have your mind would probably think about distributing this x into both of these terms, right? And that's a natural thing to do. That's going to give us x plus 2w and then times x, so 2xw, same thing. This is the factor. This is not the factored form. This is the form that we get after we distribute the x in. Now, if we want to factor it out, if you want to factor this x out, we can get this x out and we can write it in this form. This is the factored form. This is the factored form of this equation or this expression. But this is not the factor. So this is not factored. Not factored. So we would have to distribute. We would have to. I pointed my arrow at the wrong space. This is not factored right here. This is not factored. So since this is not factored, this is in our factored form because we factored it out, and this is not factored. We would have to factor it in order to write it in this form. We have it not factored because we have it expressed in this form in where we distributed it through. So what we're doing here is essentially we're factoring it out, and we have it in this form. Why do we do this? Well, now we have only an x on one side, and we can get rid of all of these other non-x terms by simply dividing by this 1 plus 2w. 1 plus 2w. And all of this is gone, and x just equals y plus 9 by 1 plus 2w. And that is our solution. That is our solution. So this one was a little bit more interesting because it had all of this business in it. All of this business, which is factoring. And factoring is going to be super useful and super important in the future because you're going to see how factoring can help us solve for the roots of an equation. I hope you found this video helpful.